This video may feel like it's coming out of nowhere, but I'll tell you guys a story. I have a friend that really likes Vash the Stampede and Trigun. So, because I had nothing better to do with my time, I thought, hey, let's make a build to become Vash the Stampede. For those that don't know, Trigun is a manga and anime series. Initially came out in the late 90s and recently had a revamped anime relaunch, and it features this character named Vash the Stampede. He's like a bounty hunter that doesn't want to kill anybody and doesn't want to hurt anybody. So it's a very interesting character dynamic of like he's a wanted man and wanted for violence, and everyone is trying to like kill him and whatnot, but he's very actively trying to be a pacifist. Super interesting anime. I had a good time watching the original like late 90s version, so I thought I'd make a build around this. For the flavor of this build, there's a couple of different routes to go about this. Notably in the show, Vash the Stampede uses this massive, like, revolver, and we know it's massive because every character that picks up the gun makes a comment about how it's really heavy-hitting.
Here, catch.
Oh, that's heavy.
Custom made, huh? You're packing some serious firepower for such a scrawny guy.
Currently, the most heavy-hitting hand cannon in the game is Ariana's Vow, because it's the only hand cannon that has special ammo in it. I figured that this would be very fitting for a Vash the Stampede build. Basically what this weapon is, it's a hand cannon, but it also has a sniper scope on it, which Vash does not have, but, you know, we'll ignore that for now. It does have anti-barrier, so that's kind of like a nice little touch. If you have the catalyst, it also has auto-loading, which is really nice. Your weapon in the kinetic slot is super flexible, but if you are doing an activity that doesn't have any strong weapon demands, and you want to lean really hard into the Vash the Stampede aesthetic, I would recommend a submachine gun. I personally like the submission. This is a reference to, spoilers by the way, Vash the Stampede's left arm is basically like a folded up machine gun, but I think it's most resembling a submachine gun, so I think this would be the closest you get, flavor-wise. In the show Trigun, Vash the Stampede attempts to be a pacifist for most of his time, but he's shown to be really good with a gun. So I figured that leaning into that gunplay as part of the build seems very important. So we're going to go with Lucky Pants. Whenever you ready a fully loaded hand cannon, which keep in mind Ariana's Vow has auto-loading if you have the catalyst, when you ready a hand cannon that is either kinetic or is the same energy as your subclass energy, you will do more damage with your hand cannon. Given that we're on Ariana's Vow, we'll have to, spoiler alert, we're going to be on a solar subclass. But this is going to work quite well. So basically the idea is that you're mostly using your kinetic primary, or whatever kinetic slot primary, and then you will swap to Ariana's Vow to do some big damage. This will be on champions, this will be on like mini bosses. That's the idea. It's just anything kind of roaming around should be very nice to just throw Ariana's Vow at them. For subclass configuration, we have a couple things going on here that might catch you by surprise and are a little alludes to the show. I think if you really want to lean into the flavor of Vash the Stampede, you do have to go for Golden Gun Marksman. The reason for that is spoilers, by the way. He blows up the moon, so I think this is super fitting to have a powered up gun that could blow up your enemies. I went with Healing Grenade because Solar on Hunter, Healing Grenade is almost a must all the time, just because this is your one source of healing and sort of like, oh no, and then you could like throw this down. Now you might be complaining, hey, that means I don't get to have a grenade. Not so fast, because for our first aspect, we're gonna go with Gunpowder Gamble. This is a nice allude to the first episode of the original 90s show. Vash Stampede is dealing with two bounty hunters going after him, and one of them has dynamite, so Vash Stampede turns it around on him. So I figured this is a nice little allusion to that, or a nice little reference. Knock him down is here mostly for the throwing knife loop. The idea is that with Knock him down, you pair this up with Ember of Torches. The two of them combined will give you infinite melee energy if you kill people with your melee. So this is a well-known combo amongst hunters, but in case you don't play hunter normally, I figured I'd explain. Ember of Torches is one of your fragments. The other fragments we're going to go for are Ember of Tempering. This is just kind of nice to boost up your recovery and also to help create fire sprites. It's going to be quite easy to create fire sprites if you have something as heavy-hitting as Ariana's Vow. The idea is that Solar Weapon Final Blows give you Tempering, but while you have Tempering, more final blows with solar weapons create fire sprites. That'll be pretty easy, especially in this season where there's a lot of solar artifacts, which this build does not rely on artifacts, but it is kind of nice. We're going to also add Empyrean just to increase our restoration and radiant effects. And Ember of Mercy, all the fire sprites we're going to create also give us restoration. If you're a longtime fan of my channel and my content, the mods here should be no surprise to you. You have Kinetic Siphon, you have some Finders. We're going for Grenade Kickstart just because having more healing available is really nice. Focus Strike just to get more class ability energy every time you kill things with a powered melee attack. Chest is whatever resists you need for the activity. For leg armor, I went with Absolution with Innervation. The idea is that we're trying to focus into grenade energy. That'll probably be the one that we're missing the most as we go through our abilities. But Absolution is there just to kind of cap off if we need more class ability energy or whatnot. For Cloak, went for Bomber, Powerful Attraction, and Reaper. If you want to lean into the aesthetic even more, you gotta get the wanted title in Spire of the Watcher. The Spire of the Watcher is a dungeon that released in the year of Witch Queen, and if you complete all the triumphs for it, you get a title, and the title is Wanted. This is a reference to how Vash Stampede is. He's wanted. His bounty is 60 billion double dollars. It's a lot of money, and everyone is looking for him. So I think it's very appropriate to be wanted in this case. And there you have it. This is my attempt to recreate Vash Stampede in Destiny 2. I will send this video to my friend. Hopefully he likes it, and I hope you guys liked it too. I will see you guys next time with more silly builds and more Destiny content. See you guys. Bye-bye.